And again, thanks for being here on a Sunday night. I know you guys have got a lot of other things to do, but what I'm going to do tonight is, talk to you and put things in perspective for you. Here we are, just right at a little over a year since I joined the company, and a lot of things have happened over the course of the last 12 months. I want to again put it in perspective for you, and I want you to understand that things are evolving, right? Things are starting to evolve, and we're going to go through some information. So again, if you don't know who I am, there's a little bio about me. I had no intentions of joining Valentus whatsoever, but I found a great product in the Slim Roast Optimum. I got incredible results, just like almost everybody does. And then I did a forensic investigation that Dave Jordan allowed me to do, come up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and spend a couple of days with him before I made the decision and pulled the trigger. Had it been anybody else but Dave Jordan, I probably wouldn't be doing this. And had it been any other product except for a fantastic weight loss coffee, I think probably the best coffee or the best product I've seen in my 30-year career in this industry, because it gets almost instant results on almost everybody. And that is a huge component to the success that we're going to see moving forward. So, what I want to do is take you through a little bit of information and give you, again, my perspective on what it is that is happening. So I don't know why I can't get this thing to move forward. Okay, Mirage. That's the first thing I want to talk about, is a Mirage. Everybody is kind of familiar with what a Mirage is, right? It's an illusion. It's something that appears real, but it really isn't. And so just like that word, just like this, and this is a Mirage you're looking at, and now it's exactly what it was. It's just a Mirage, right? And the reason that I brought that Mirage topic into play was that's how the word or the growth phase that most companies talk about never get to, called momentum. Like I said, most industry people talk about momentum as if it's going to happen to every company regardless, and that's not true. It's few and far between that ever reach a real, true momentum phase. And I'm happy to report to you guys that you're at the right place at the right time for one time, maybe the first time in your life. Will be the fourth time in my life, in my 30-year career, that I've been able to catch a company that's actually going to go into a real momentum phase. I put down the 4 phases of growth that really a network marketing company goes through if they're lucky. The formulation startup phase, that's the hardest part, right? Getting everything together, having the money, and most companies don't make it. 98% or so just don't make it through that formulation, that startup phase, because of a lot of things, but primarily it's the inexperience of the owner and lack of money. A lot of companies decide to go into network marketing because they see it as an easy way to raise money, and that's just really the kiss of death. Concentration phase is where everything is starting to get put together since you've made it through that formulation, that startup phase. And that startup phase can last anywhere from a year to 2 years to 3 years. I mean, there's really no set time. And then a company, if they're lucky, if they're really fortunate, and if all the stars line up, they'll go into a momentum phase. So, what we're going to look at is, what really causes and creates momentum. So, Great. Okay. So what really causes momentum? A few companies actually reach that true momentum. And so here's what it kind of looks like. I mean, this is, something that the industry puts out, the sales, the length of time. They talk about formulation, momentum, stability or stabilization, but again, not all companies will go through that. Let me show you a company that I was in. I joined that company in 1987. It was right here, right? And by 1989, we had done $40 million worth of business. And the next year, here we are, 1989, 1990, 240 million growth. So we went from 40 million to 240, a 500% increase, right? Or a 6-time growth during that 1 year. And then we went from 240 to 500. So basically a 2-time or 108% growth then. And over 500 millionaires were created. And it really was a fantastic opportunity. Wanted you to see that because, and the part that everybody needs to understand is really what creates momentum, because again, most companies don't get there. Product results and stories, right? And income stories. So those are the two components that, when they come together and when those things start to happen as rapidly as they're happening with Valentus, then, continued growth continues to happen, right? So product results, hey, on the Facebook Best Weight Loss Coffee today, over 35,000 members, right? Thousands and thousands of testimonials, and I use that all the time. We put together a URL that everybody is welcome to use, which is FB Testimonials, plural, fbtestimonials.info. And then you can just send that to somebody and they can click on it and it'll take them right to that Facebook page. They can read all about it. And, in the beginning, we didn't have all of those. And I'm going to explain, the transition and why the conversation is changing. John Herenza brought up when he was doing a training one day, brought up something that I loved. He talked about, when the fish start jumping in the boat. Right now we're all fishing, right? We got a line or we got a net or we got a big net or whatever, whatever we're utilizing to bring people, create the curiosity, create the interest. We're using different things, right? Here's a company that I was in 1992, my second company, right? I left that first company. I left that company because of some things I didn't care for, and I was out of the industry for a little bit, and then I jumped over to another company. And in May 1992, I've got my genealogy down here. I had 50 distributors. In May of 1993, I had 75,898 distributors. I had a volume in my organization of 6.5 million. My group grew to over 400,000 people. My volume grew to over 20 million. My check grew from 50,000 a month to 250,000 a month. It was fish jumping in the boat. I mean, my organization grew sometimes, 5,000 people overnight. It just was absolutely fantastic. And it went on like that for a long time. I wish it would have went on for the rest of my life. Unfortunately, the owner made some very bad judgment calls and decisions, and that company is no longer with us. So anyway, that's another story for another time. I wanted you to really visualize, all of us are visual people. I mean, we hear, but we really don't. When I tell somebody that that Valentus has grown from 700,000 in May of 2018 to 7 million in May of 2019, they get it, but they really don't get it, right? I mean, they don't understand how big that is, and until they see something like this. And this is not an illusion, folks. This is reality. I mean, 900% growth in a year. And so I'm going to be talking about this a lot on the business overviews and so on, because I really want people to understand what's happened and what's about to happen, because everything's in play. I threw this little thing up there, and you know, here's me, here's Rick, and here's John. And I asked those guys to provide me, you know, what they were making. You know, I was making no money, because I hadn't started yet. And Rick's check was $23.77 for that week. John's was $47.26. There was my first week, $7.24. Rick was there. John was here. And then things started to, so this was before optimum. This was after optimum, right? So I wanted you to see what happened in a short span of time from May to January. I mean, you know, Rick went from $23.77 to 20 grand, you know, not bad. I went from 724 to almost 6 grand. John went from 4,700 to 62,000. And again, it's all in the size of the network. My check went from June of 2018, $3,000 to $33,000 June of 19, right? 1,000% growth. Not bad. Well, and you know why? I mean, because of this. I mean, it's not hard to understand what happens to a person's income when you look back at how the company grew. Everybody grew. So as the company grew, everybody grew who was in motion, right? In motion. Now, if you're standing there and just waiting for something to happen, then you're going to be waiting for, you know, a lifetime. Rick's check went from 9,000 in May of 2018 to 128,000 to May of 2019, that is. I'll change that to 1,322% growth. Incredible, right? I mean, just absolutely incredible. So, anyway, you know, this is what we use in the current business presentation. I'm going to change it up a little bit, but you know, right now, I mean, here's where we were, right? That formulation, and that was 5 years ago, 2014, and then through those stages, and I mean, here's where we're at. And you know, like I said many times, that there's really no set number into this critical mass. Again, it's just all of those product stories, income stories. It's all of that documentation, you know, all kind of wrapped together. And then all of a sudden the engine starts to churn, and more and more people, you know, find out about it, hear about it, and try the product. And you know, we talk about 2019 and, you know, what's going to happen in 2020 and so on and so forth. But again, people are visual, right? And so they really don't understand. So I'm going to put some other things in there so that you can understand what that really means, right? 15 million to 50 million, which is where we were a year ago, to 50 million winding up in 2019, 233% growth, right? Company-wise. Now, I told you that the people that were fortunate enough to be here with a big team, or as large a team as they can possibly put together during this year, 2019, and going into 2020, because this is going to happen. This 50 million to 400 million. You know, it might be a little bit less than that. It might be a little bit more than that. Who knows? But if it's anywhere close to that, we're at a 700% growth. I mean, that's unheard of, people. I mean, it is absolutely unheard of. So the incomes that are going to be created for those that have large organizations will be gigantic. There will be hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of millionaires that'll be created during the next 3 to 5 years. I say it and I say it. I just want to put that in perspective and really drill it into everybody's head. 400 to 800 million, again, 100% growth, right? I mean, that is huge, but where's the real growth? 2020. I mean, and you know, what if I'm off a little bit? What if that's 500% growth and we have 200% growth the next year? You know, I mean, it could happen, but I'm telling you what I see, and my 30 years of experience shows me that this is the direction that we're headed. So 2022, 800 million to a billion, 25% growth. So I've got to ask you, where and when is the best time to be building an organization? In 2022 or in 2019? Right now. I mean, it's obvious, you know, right now is the time to be building all out massive action, all hands on deck to get as many people in your organization as quickly as possible. That's why we're changing the conversation. There's a number of reasons we're changing the conversation. Number one, we're running out of time. Number two, we've got enough product, you know, testimonials and information. We know the product works. We know the compensation plan works. We know the company ships products. You know, we know that we've got a global seamless compensation plan that has been paying consistently every Friday for the last 5 years, right? So all the stars have lined up. 4-year growth percentage increase would be 1,900%, right? If we went from where we were, 15 million to a billion, 1,900%. So that's the kind of vertical growth you want to be a part of. And, you know, I was talking to a couple of people and I said, you know, it's too bad that this is a privately held company and we don't own stock in this, because wouldn't it be nice to have a 1,900% growth in a stock that you own? Yes, it would. So the product works, the compensation plan works. So now it's time to turn up the heat. So I'm going to give you some talking points, because I want everybody to get, you know, in tune with a new conversation. You know, in the beginning we talked about, you know, hey, are you a coffee drinker, right? Have you ever been interested in losing weight? You know, that was our conversation for the past 12 months. The conversation moving forward is going to be a little bit different. Hey, Bob, I found a great way for you and I to make some money. Bob, I found a great way for you and I to make some money. The company is called Valentus. Have you heard of them? They're a 5-year-old direct sales company that introduced a weight loss coffee last June, and people love it. You know, the stuff actually works, right? I'm going to send you over to a website. You can just see all kinds of testimonials of people that are using the product all over the world that are getting results from the product. And oh, by the way, Bob, I've been on the product. I was on it and I started drinking 2 cups of coffee every morning. And in the first week, I lost 9 pounds. And in the first month, I lost 18 pounds. I'm now down 40 pounds, right? But more importantly, the fat has melted off of my body. So my waist has gone from a 40 to a 33. You got to have a story. You got to be excited. You got to have, you know, you've got to be willing to transition yourself, because it's all about, right now, it's all about velocity, right? How fast can we get the message? You know, Valentus has grown. Here's some more talking points, right? Valentus has grown from 700 in sales in May of 2018 to 7 million in sales in May of 2019. I'm looking for a few people that want to make big money, and I thought about you. I'm looking for a few people, not an army of people. I'm looking for a few select people, right, that are interested in making a lot of money, and I was thinking about you. You know, we've always talked about, you know, that life-sucking job that you have, and you've always wanted to get out of there. You always wanted to make some money. You've got some hopes. You've got some dreams. You've got some things that you want to accomplish, but you're never going to do it working for that company, right? That, whatever it is. And so I go on and say, hey, it's going to cost you $600 for inventory and $160 a month to remain active. Is this something you'd be interested in doing with me? If it's not, thank them for their time and move on, right? I mean, we've got to get real good. Everybody's got to get real good at telling this story and not being afraid to make those phone calls and talk to people, right? Because you're only looking for a few people. You could go on by saying, hey, the guy that I'm working with, Chuck, is making $40,000 a month after his 7th month, and he's made almost $250,000 his first year. His sponsor, Rick, was making $9,000 a month in May of 2018, and in May of 2019, he's making $128,000, So that's the conversation, and we're going to continue to talk about it and continue to work on it until everybody, and you're not going to say it like I say it, you're going to use, but you stay with the points, right? I found a great way for you and I to make some money together, right? The company is called Valentus. They're 5 years old. They're not a startup. They're 5 years old. People love this product. And oh, by the way, for those coffee drinkers or non-coffee drinkers, they also introduced just a cocoa, right? Just incredible product that makes people lose weight, and their cravings stop and their appetite stops and their energy increases and lots of great things happen. You got to take a look at that testimonial page. And then, let me be clear. We're not looking for customers. The customer days are over. If somebody wants to be a customer, we'll still, oblige them, right? We'll still take some customers, but you're looking for business builders. You're looking for people that say, hey, that looks like an awesome opportunity and I want to get started. I mean, that's all. That looks like an awesome opportunity, someone that's interested in changing their life, and if they knew how to do it, this is one of the most important parts here. If they knew how to change their life, they had already done it, right? So people don't know. And, let me talk to you about the 6-day experience. I had a conversation with somebody here today, and they said, I really don't feel comfortable, selling products to my friends and so on and so forth. I said, hey, no problem. I said, say, hey, Bob, you wanted to try the coffee? That's cool. I can send you over a couple of samples for free, or I can sell you as many as you'd like at my cost. If you want to just taste it, see if it works, 2 will do the trick. 2 will do the trick. 1 will do the trick. I mean, the first cup of coffee I had back to, the end of May 2018, I knew exactly something was happening. I could feel something happening with my body. And I said, whew, I've got more energy. I'm more focused. I've got, I'm going to go out and get some stuff done. And I did. So 2 will do the trick, but if you want to try it for a week, then maybe 6, maybe 12. Hey, whatever it is, 6 for $20, 12 for $40. You want to drink 2 cups every morning, you got a lot of weight to lose, do 2 cups, right? Or do a cup in the morning, then do another cup at noon before you eat. And again, I'm very specific with people on how to take the product, to get the best results, because we want them to get the best results, right? Everybody does. So, or the other thing that you could do is just go to my link and order a canister. It's got 30 cups. It's $59.95 plus shipping and handling. And you know what? You got nothing to lose. Company's got a money back guarantee. So, hey, just go try it. I'm looking for some business builders. I'm looking for some people that want to make some money, but I can understand the fact that you want to see if it works, and, that you don't believe the 35,000 testimonials that are on there, and you don't believe that I've lost 40 pounds. So, yeah, go ahead, try it yourself. This is the model. When I talked about, wanting to find 3 people, this is the 3x3 model that I want everybody to start to wrap their head around, because it really does take a person through the stages if everybody just does the bare minimum, finds three, right? Just find three business builders, find three people that become business builders, buy a business builder package. So here they are, here you are, the first month, you're going to take two and put them on one side, one and put them on the other side. And why is that? So you're qualified, right? You got one on this side, you got two on this side, two on your team, one on your team leg, right? Your enroller's leg, and then two on your leg. You've made one cycle, right? 200 and 100 business volume is one cycle, pays you a whole $20. I'll talk about this legacy bonus in a second, but we all know that there's a $100 legacy bonus that is paid on each one of these business builder packs. So there's three, there's $300. Since you sponsored those three people and they purchased a business builder pack, you earn a first ordered bonus, right, or a fast start bonus of $300. So if this was all there was, you'd make $320 would be your check, right? So second month, right, these two go out and get their three. Third month, these six go out and get their three. Now you've got 18. You're cycling, right? You got 13 cycles. You haven't sponsored any more people, so no fast start bonuses. So that's pretty much your check. And again, we'll talk about that legacy bonus. Fourth month, right? Those 18 go get their three. And fifth month, you hit diamond. Those 54 get their three. You've got 121 cycles. You're starting to make a little bit of money, you know, but it's been 5 months. It hadn't been 5 days, and it hasn't been 5 weeks. It's been 5 months. So the trick is staying in there long enough, right? Everybody wants instant success. Everybody wants to be, you know, make $10,000 a week right out of the gate, and they've never made $10,000 a month. But somehow they figure that, you know, they're worth $10,000 a week. So why aren't I making $10,000 a week? And so they get disappointed and quit. 6 month, right? You're triple diamond, 364 cycles, $7,280. Probably quit your job about that, right? You know, especially as things, you know, continue to progress and progress and progress. So 7th month, those 486 go get their three, and 1,458. So that month you got 2,187 people coming into your organization, right? So if you added these up, 2187 to 729 to 243 and so on and so forth, you got a pretty nice size organization, you know, 3,000 people thereabouts. But what's happened is now you're up to 22 grand, right? 22 grand. And legacy bonus, as you see, has continued and continued paying. And if this was done with your first three people before you were legacy qualified, that money would be paid to your sponsor. Every dime of the legacy bonus would be paid to your sponsor. Your sponsor would be very happy. If it was done with your fourth, fifth, and sixth person, or after you became legacy qualified, and I know a lot of you are legacy qualified, and now it's just time to turn up the heat and go build a 3x3, you know, three who get three, who get three, who get three, who get three, and just keep asking that question, and those legacy bonuses will be paid to you. So I can see that smile on your face. So here's the other question. You know, if there was a chance that a $600 investment in working 10 to 12 hours a week over the course of the next 3 years could produce a 6 or 7 figure residual income, is that something you would be interested in doing? You know, that's, again, the question that I ask everybody. You know, $600 investment, work 10, 12 hours a week. Yeah, I know you don't have any time, but, you know, this is what it's going to require. And, you know, let's look at John. Let's look at Rick, any one of those guys right now. They've been here for 5 years. through the ups and the downs of the last 5 years. Look at the kind of money that they're making. If Rick doesn't do any better than what he's doing right now at about $130,000 a month, do the math. I mean, he's going to be in the top 1/10 of 1% of the income earners in the country. John, making $100 grand a week, is going to be in the fraction of the 1% of the 1% of the income earners in the country. So, so it's all going to happen, but it's just going to happen in due time, right? And that's why I'm looking at, what my next toy is going to be. My wife first said that I was too old to have a Lamborghini again, and I told her I wasn't. So I'm not. So it's, it's up to you guys. I mean, if you want to do it, it's there. You unlimited wealth, right? Unlimited income potential, and very, very little downside risk with where we're at. So the action steps, call 10 people on Monday and ask them the question. I found a great way for us to make money. I found a great way for us to make money, John. I found a company called Valentus. You ever heard of them? No. And again, that's going to change. That no is going to be turned into a yes here shortly as more and more people start hearing about Valentus, because it will happen. It will happen. And they're going to say, yeah, I heard about it. This person or that person or this person or that person. And then it's now, they have some indication of what's going on. Now they heard about it from a second person, and pretty soon a third person, and pretty soon a fourth person. So invite all of them to the Zoom tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, right? All they're going to do is go to zoom.us and click on join a meeting, just like you guys did. Stick in that code 908-544-558 and be there a couple of minutes before 9 p.m. or excuse me, 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night, and we will tell them the Valentus story as best I can, right? And, just have fun, right? This is a have fun business. Share, don't sell, and remember the most important component, getting people three-wayed to your upline. If you ask somebody, hey, I found a great way for us to make money, and they say, hey, that sounds interesting, the next thing you need to do is put them on the phone with me, put them on the phone with Rick, put them on the phone with John, put them on the phone with somebody, right? And say, hey, let me introduce you to the people that I work with, and get them, engaged in that conversation with the people that you do work with. So that's it. That's the end. This is you digging and digging and digging, right? And looking for those diamonds. And, my only small piece of advice here is that, it's going to happen. It might not happen in the time frame that you want it to happen in, but it will happen if you just stay consistent and you just continue doing the same thing, continue coming to the Zooms, continue to keep learning, right? And learning and learning. Rick did a little 12-minute video that I took and uploaded to YouTube. I'm going to get it out to everybody. Maybe I already got it out to everybody already, but if you haven't got it, or if you do have it and you haven't watched it, make sure you watch it, because it really goes hand in hand with this whole conversation, the change of the conversation. So watch that, because it gives you the steps and it gives you the structure. It gives you exactly how to and what to do. And, what this presentation does, it gives you some more of the strategies, right? And the conversation. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to open it up here right after I shut this off, and I will stop the share and stop everything. We'll stop the recording. I'll stop that recording.